Hey, it's me. Let's look at three cosmic principles that exist everywhere in the universe: expansion, restriction, and the static principle. These forces show up in all of nature and in every area of science. They also shape our own souls. They can work in a good, balanced way, or they can become twisted and harmful. So I want to explain these principles in a way that can help you understand your own psychology. Let's see how they look in both their positive, healthy forms and their negative, unhealthy forms. So let's start with the expanding principle. When the expanding principle is showing up in a healthy way, it'll look like creativity, growth, building, moving forward, seeking and reaching out beyond yourself. It can also include unselfishness, wanting to connect with others, and leaving your ego behind. The unhealthy expression of the expanding principle may look like aggression, hostility, war, cruelty, impatience, and destroying rather than building. Okay. Now let's look at the restricting principle. So the healthy expression of the restricting principle may look like balance, caution, patience, thoughtfulness, and introspection. It keeps expansion from spinning out of control. It lets you grow at a slow, steady pace. It also helps you look inward so you can truly understand yourself and better understand others as a result. The negative or unhealthy expression of the restricting principle may look like going backward instead of forward, blocking progress, dishonesty, cowardice, selfishness, and feeling separate from others. And finally, the static principle. So the healthy expression of the static principle may look like preservation, rest, and the peaceful state of simply being. This principle lets you pause, gather new energy, and prepare for the next cycle of growth. You can see it in nature, like when a plant grows, then rests, then grows again. The negative side of the static principle may look like stagnation, lifelessness, and no movement at all. And this is where everything stops growing and stays stuck. So every being in the universe is guided by these three forces. In a healthy person, all three work together in harmony and help one another. But when someone is out of balance, these principles clash and cause confusion. One might be too strong while the others are ignored or misused. Most of us naturally are drawn to one principle more than the others. Now, that doesn't mean the other two don't matter. We need to use all three well. Sometimes people think that their main trait, we'll use expansion as an example, is quote unquote bad. So they try to hide or suppress it. This can make things worse because they overuse a different principle or use their main trait in a negative way. Or they might swing between using too much of their main principle and not using it at all. So if you think about these three principles as you work on yourself, you can learn a lot about who you are. Ask yourself where you might be overemphasizing one principle while ignoring the others. Are you blocking your own growth, or are you moving forward but never taking time to rest or reflect? Now, a quick note on the static principle. People talk a lot about expanding and restricting. Those tend to get most of the attention, and the static principle is often ignored. Yet it can be the highest goal: true peace, timelessness, and the calm of simply being. However, in its negative form, the static principle creates the worst trap of all: no movement whatsoever. Even moving backward is better than staying completely stuck because at least you'll eventually notice things are getting worse and decide to turn around. In the static negative form, though, you don't move at all, and you may not even realize you need to. No one is completely stuck in the static principle across every part of their personality, but we may have areas where we might feel frozen or hopeless. In other parts of our lives, maybe we expand too fast or restrict too much. So, what to do? Well, as you explore yourself, notice if you rely too much on expansion, like always pushing forward but never pausing or reflecting. Or maybe you rely too much on restriction, always cautious, fearful, or retreating. Or maybe you get stuck in the static principle, not moving at all, feeling lifeless or hopeless in a certain area. Find the balance among all three. What would it look like to have all three principles working in balance in your life? Which principle feels like your natural strength? How can you use it in a healthy way and also develop the other two? Look for where your thinking might be twisted, where you push away your true nature or overuse it. By working with these three principles, you'll discover more about yourself and understand others better as well. You'll learn how to grow in a steady, balanced way and avoid getting stuck, blocked, carried away. As always, if you'd like help with this, please feel free to reach out. Love you. Let's connect soon.